Assalamu alaikum viewers. We are back with our next language program. Today's program is the last program of our series. It's taken from 10th class English textbook and the lesson is called Tarbela Dam. The interesting thing about today's program is that we are going to take you to Tarbela Dam. And our visit over there would be the first phase of our program, that is listening comprehension. So while you're there, watch everything very carefully, listen to everything very carefully, because when you come back, I'll be asking you questions. Next, we have a vocabulary building exercise. For this, we have taken a few words from your lesson, Tarbela Dam, and today we'll show you how to use new words and how to keep a record of that. Then, we'll learn to use prefixes and suffixes. And in the end, we have pronunciation drill. So let's take you to Tarbela Dam.
Today, we will be visiting the biggest earth-filled dam in the world. How do you define a dam? Well, it's a huge reservoir or storage place of water. The wall around the huge store of water keeps its level higher than the land on the other side of the wall. If the wall breaks down, the area on the other side would be flooded. The water is allowed to fall down on the other side. The falling water turns huge wheels which generate electrical energy. The energy of motion is turned into electricity, which is another form of energy or power. Dams are of two types, earth-filled and concrete. Concrete dams are used to block streams running through narrow gorges in the mountains. Such dams are high, but they require very little material to build them. Earth-filled dams are built on big rivers and require a lot of material to make them. So the dam we will show you is an earth-filled dam. It is a dam built on a big river in a plain. All such dams, as you have just learned, require a lot of material, but this one is the biggest of them all. So the material needed for this one must be much more than any other dam in the world. But do you know where this wonder of modern engineering is? Well, it is in our own country, and it was built on our mightiest river, the Indus. Yes, it is the Tarbela Dam. Do you know why this dam was built? It was built to store water so that it can be used to irrigate land. Canals take the water from the huge reservoir of the dam to dry areas. It is also used to generate hydroelectric power. Some people think that agriculture will be very important in the 21st century. As it is, Pakistan is still an agricultural country and we cannot afford to neglect it. That is why dams are important for us now and will remain important even in the future. As you know, agriculture is dependent upon water, and rain is insufficient and beyond human control. That is why canals are so important for the development of agriculture in Pakistan. In the 1930s, the British government built canals which could carry the water to areas which are dependent on rainfall. Nowadays, canals irrigate most of the plains of Pakistan. Before the establishment of the canals, people feared dry spells. They had no means of storing water, and the plains of the Punjab, which were called the granary of India, were often dry. Nowadays, canals help to keep most of the plains productive. Besides Tarbela Dam, there is another dam at Engligh on the river Jhelum. There are also 6 barrages and 8 link canals. These canals supply water to 100,000 acres of land every year. Unfortunately, this is a mixed blessing because this water sinks into the soil and causes waterlogging. When it evaporates, it leaves behind salts, which is called salinity. Thus, a large area of irrigated land is being consumed by waterlogging and salinity. However, these problems are being solved through land reclamation projects. We also need more electric power and fresh drinking water, for which we need to build more dams. So now you understand why dams are necessary for us? Now coming back to the Tarbela Dam. It was in the 1960s that the search for a suitable site for a dam on the river Indus began. After 4 years of search, the consulting engineers proposed Tarbela for the dam. Tarbela is a village in the northwest frontier province, the home of the ancient Gandhara civilization, about 100 kilometers to the northwest of Rawalpindi. Tarbela is a gigantic dam. It is 9,000 feet long, 470 feet high, and the base of its wall is 2,200 feet, while its top is only 42 feet. It is twice the size of the Mangla Dam, which is the second largest concrete-filled dam in the world. Another unique feature of Tarbela is that its irrigation channels have the biggest gates ever made in the history of dam construction. The water which is stored in the reservoir covers an area of 260 square kilometers. On the 7th of August 1975, the gates of the Tarbela Dam swung open for the first time. It has now been irrigating a lot of land and illuminating many homes for 20 years. Although Tarbela Dam is mainly an irrigation project, it has the capacity to produce 2.1 million kilowatts of electrical power. Electricity, as you know, is absolutely essential for a modern country. Offices, homes, and factories need it for their daily work. Now, there are 2 power plants for generating electricity in this dam, and you are now watching plant number 2. At present, it has 5 turbines, which are producing 200 megawatts each. Tarbela is a very big dam, as you have learned. In fact, it was so huge that it had no earlier model. It was, in fact, the first of its kind. The pressure of the water is so great that engineers have to be alert to foresee danger. The danger, of course, is of the gates bursting open and the area being flooded. However, Pakistani engineers have repaired the dam several times, and in the process, they have learned from their mistakes. So long as we are prepared to learn from our mistakes, we can hope to prosper and develop.
Well, I hope you enjoyed your educational trip today. So are you ready for the questions? Question number 1. What are the names of the 4 main tributaries of the Indus? They are Ravi, Chenab, Satluj, and Jhelum. Next question. Why do we build dams? Yes, dams are built to store water for drinking purposes, for irrigation and electricity. Third question. Which is the largest earth-filled dam in the world? Very good. It is Tarbela Dam, and we can proudly say Tarbela Dam because it is in our country. Next question. What is Tarbela Dam's capacity for producing electricity? Good. It is 2.1 million kilowatt. And the last question is, where is Tarbela Dam situated? Yes, it is situated about 100 kilometers northwest of Rawalpindi in a village called Tarbela. Well, that covers our listening comprehension exercise. And next we come to vocabulary building exercise. It is important that you organize the vocabulary learning exercise. The words you come across every day, you must keep a record of those words, and you must review the record regularly. And for this, you need a notebook. Note down the words, the new words especially. Now, in vocabulary building, what is needed? The first thing is a word. Next, pronunciation of that word. Third, its meaning. Fourth, its grammatical category. And the last, how you use that word in a sentence. Now let's see, with the help of a chart, how vocabulary building is important and how it helps us. The first column is the word. For example, the word is barren. Second column says pronunciation, that is barren. In the third column, you have to show to which grammatical category the word belongs to. Barren is an adjective. Third, or the next category is the meaning of the word. That which does not produce crops, trees, and grass, that is a desert. And the last column is sentence. Let's use this word barren in a sentence. Lack of water can change an area into a barren land. Now, this is how you improve your vocabulary. Since this is our last program, so in future, when you're doing an exercise on vocabulary building, use a similar chart. Every day when you come across new words, make a chart, try to find out its meaning, to which category it belongs, make a sentence, learn its pronunciation, and this is how you can improve your vocabulary. And I'm sure in the previous 9 lessons, you must have improved considerably. Now we shall see how the words are built up from the primary elements in English. Let's look at this example. Pay is a verb which means to give money. Now, this word is the basic word. It is also called the root or the stem. Now, let's see what happens when we add something to the basic word at the beginning. For example, repay means, which is a verb, to pay again. The letter re means again, and when this is added to the basic word, it is called prefix. Re means again, pre means before. Now, let's look at some suffixes. Let's take the same verb pay and see what happens when we put or when we add different suffixes at the end of the stem. For example, payable is an adjective, payment is a noun. You will notice that in suffixes, when you add different suffixes, it changes the part of speech. For example, act is the stem word or the root word, which is a verb. Active is an adjective. Actively is an adverb. But actively is a noun as well. Action is a noun and actor is a noun. So, now we come to our last phase, and that is pronunciation drill. For this, we have taken a few words from your textbook from 10th class, and I'll just pronounce the words and you just listen to them carefully and just note the stressed syllables. And after that, when I repeat them second time, you're going to pronounce the words after me. The first word is fertility. Fertility. Dependent. Tributary. Constructed. Barren. Rebellious. Prosperous. Quantity. Huge. And the last word is electricity. Did you note the stress? Well, now I'll repeat them and you are going to repeat after me. The first word is fertility. Next, dependent. Right? Tributary. correct. Constructed. Good. Next, barren. Barren. Rebellious. Good. Prosperous. Quantity. Quantity. Right. Huge. And the last word is electricity. Good. Well, with that we come to the end of our today's program. In fact, this is the last program. But before we say Khuda Hafiz, don't forget to learn and practice English. I told you the 4 important skills: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. And I'm sure by now these 10 programs must have made a considerable improvement in your English. But you must learn to practice regularly. Keep a notebook. Like I told you, with the help of a chart, you can improve your vocabulary. So with this, we say Khuda Hafiz to you, wishing you all the best.